gave up. Giving up was not his way. The draft was in 6 months. Plenty of time to figure out how to sign the player he knew was something special. The kid deserved a solid contract. And the truth was, Ryan was as ethical as they came. If Mason signed with his agency, Ryan would protect him from the rat race of the sports world. Keep him safe, train him right, not let him fall into situations that could undermine an athlete's development. But he'd have to figure out the details later. Right now, he needed to find his way home. Back to New York. Back to sanity. He turned at the corner and walked toward the only place with a light in the window. Posey, the sign said. He looked around. Okay, Posey, what's your address? No number, no distinguishing features. Just a white clapboard building and a big, fat, closed sign. Naturally. In a futile effort, he reached for the door handle and pulled until he felt resistance. Fighting back the urge to kick in the door, knowing it would only result in criminal charges and quite possibly spending the next 6 months in a bluegrass state prison. He let go of the door, took a step back, and tried to think. All he needed was an address so he could request that Uber out of Smallville. One stinkin' address. He pulled his phone from his pocket and typed Posey Beaumont into his browser, and 12 Main Street came back. Main Street. Should have guessed. Every homespun whistle stop had a Main Street. He typed the address into the app, but no cars were nearby. He could request one from Lexington, but that was a couple of hours away, and it was already growing dark and getting colder by the minute. There had to be a better option. Something local. If he could wait inside, at least he'd be able to get warm while he figured out the ride situation. He cupped his hands around his eyes and peered into the window. The place was empty. Except... Wait a sec. He took another look. Someone was behind the counter. A woman wearing what looked like an old-school Kentucky Wildcats shirt. Good sign. She liked sports, or basketball at least. So maybe she wouldn't reflexively disparage all big city agents. He knocked on one of the white door's small glass inserts. She looked up, appearing surprised at first, then vaguely suspicious. Shit. Suspicion wasn't good. Suspicion wouldn't get him shelter or a ride. A ride to the airport would be phenomenal luck. He took in the refrigerated case of flowers behind the counter. Of course. Posey, the neighborhood flower shop. An idea formed. He'd manage 2 issues with 1 bouquet. He knocked again. Excuse me, Wildcat Girl? Wildcat Girl? Not exactly charming, but his brain was moving a mile a minute. I'm sorry to bother you, but I have a floral emergency. From his side of the door, Ryan offered a faint smile, which only seemed to deepen her suspicion. He could tell by the wrinkle in her forehead. Why all the mistrust? Was it a small-town thing? Maybe he'd knocked too hard. Maybe he shouldn't have called her Wildcat Girl or used the words floral emergency. Maybe he was fucking this up royally. He let go a frustrated sigh and placed his forehead against what